肉夹馍, a Chinese version hamburger or sandwich, is a classical fast street food made of mainly slowly braised meat sandwiched in a thick round bread slipped open in the middle. It is fast, tasty, nutritious, and not expensive. I have seen pictures of the bread in a pocket form instead of a flatbread form on internet. I like the pocket form better because it holds the braised meat better. Things don't fall out when you hold it to eat. I have tried a few ways to make the pocket bread. This video is one way to make the pocket bread, and the whole process of making the sandwich or hamburger or whichever you like to call it. And the idea of making the pocket definitely works. For the whole recipe, you will start with cooking the meat first, because it may take 2 to 3 hours to braise the meat to fall off the bone texture. So let's get started with my way of making Chinese pocket sandwich. To cook the meat first, in this case I got 2.7 pounds of bought country-style pork rib from Walmart. Place them in a big pot. Cover them completely with water. Cover it, bring it to boil, reduce heat, and set timer for 5 minutes. Let it simmer for 5 minutes. And then pick out the meat to a new pot. Discard the water, the boiled water with the foam on the top. Next, we're going to add all the spices, 1 chili, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom, 2 star anise, 1 stick of cinnamon, 2 pieces of ginger, a bunch of green onions, the bottom part, 3 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of dark soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine, 3 teaspoons of brown sugar, and about 3 cups of water. You want water to just cover the top of the meat. Cover it and cook for about 1.5 hours to 3 hours until the meat fall off the bone texture. If you need to leave the stove top for a while, you might want to preheat the oven to 275 Fahrenheit degrees and cook in the oven. I always feel it's safer to cook in the oven for a longer time than cook on the stove top. I could be wrong, but that's just how I do it. And next, while the meat is cooking, we will make the pocket bread. I always start with about 100 Fahrenheit degrees warm water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of active dry yeast in about 1/2 cup of water to make sure the dry yeast is still alive if you have that in your fridge for a while. Next, I weigh 200 grams of all-purpose flour. Sifted. I always sift flour before I make the dough. Make a well in the center of the flour and add in the yeast solution. I don't know, my yeast looks like half alive, half dead. I have that yeast for a long time. Maybe that's why the texture at the end, I have the texture of the bread is kind of dry. I don't know, but I'm going to get new active dry yeast after this, and then just stir the water with the flour and make it into a dough. I don't really like the dry bread, so I made the dough very soft. Form it into a dough and put a flour on the bottom of the bowl and place the dough in the bowl and cover with plastic wrap, let it rest for 20 minutes. Time to roll out the dough. This is a really fun part. Dust the surface with flour. Take the dough out. And cut into 8 to 10 equal portions. 8 will make 4 pockets and 10 will make 5 pockets. Initially I cut it into 8 portions, but later on I decide, okay, I'm going to make this into 10. You will see. Okay, I proceed to roll out the first dough, and while I do that, I decided to remove a little portion from each of them to make it into 10 instead of 8. It's a strange time to change my mind, but I changed my mind at that moment. Okay, just roll it out to, I decided to roll it out to the smallest circle there, that's 6 inches. It's actually big enough, a big sandwich, a big pocket. If I really want, I'm done, if I really open the pocket all the way, it's going to hold a lot meat, a lot. So it's not perfect round, so I removed the piece that's sticking out there, and I rolled out a second one, and I coat water on the edge of half of the circle. The water will act as a glue the two pieces together on the bottom half of the circle, and the top half, when cooked, it will be very easy to open the whole thing as a pocket. So place the dough in the warm cast iron pan, and once the bottom has nice brown spots, you can flip over and cook on the other side. Repeat with the remaining dough portions, and in the end I made 5 pockets. Okay, time to assemble the pockets. I pick a piece of meat from the braising pot, kind of chopped it to smaller pieces, and I put pre-diced cilantro, a good pinch of cilantro, a good pinch of red onions. You can do your own vegetables. You can add sweet bell pepper. It's really good to add sweet bell pepper, and a good pinch of cucumber. You can also add jalapeno pepper if you like a little bit of kick in it. Then chop the meat and the vegetable together. I'm almost ready to scoop it inside the pocket. Look how big the pocket is. It's huge. And then I decided, okay, I may need to sprinkle a little salt on it, and some freshly ground peppercorns, red, green, black, white peppercorns, and scoop it in. Keep scooping more meat in it. It's a huge pocket. In the future, I might try to make the pocket slightly smaller, so the bread will be slightly thicker on both sides, and the pocket will be slightly smaller, so it doesn't, the whole one pocket doesn't hold the whole pot of meat in there. That's basically already assembled Chinese pocket sandwich. But don't forget to put a spoonful of the braising solution into the filling of the pocket. It's really flavorful. The solution is really flavorful. It will make the pocket taste so much better. Okay, so that's the whole process of my way of making Chinese pocket sandwich or Chinese pocket hamburger or 肉夹馍. Hope you like it, and see you in next video.